We're setting up camp at spawn. I guess that makes us spawn campers, right? Oh hey, I found a fan. He's like, I love your vids. That's awesome. Here, you want a clownfish?
2B2T Crossplay, an anarchy wasteland filled with griefers, PvPers, hackers, and obnoxious new players. But hundreds of thousands, even millions of blocks out, is civilization. Bases, groups of players, hundreds of them scattered out all across the server, working to compete with other bases, other groups, to make the biggest builds, the best kit factories, or some just trying to play the game how it's supposed to be played. But there is one group that stands out from the rest. It's the Church of Hating Josh. Despite its name, it's one of the most historic groups on the server. But how did the church get its name? Well, as you know if you watched my rest stop video, it came from Josh. Josh griefed the rest stop, destroyed all historical signs, and bed-trapped all of its occupants. And the church isn't just against Josh, the one player, it's against all players like him. All the evil players that grief, steal, kill, PvP for no apparent reason. The church's original message was to keep the server clean of all those people, to keep the peace, shut down wars, and open rest stops in nice areas for new players to establish. Now, back to the Josh subject. Now after the rest stop was griefed and ASAP lost everything, ASAP and one of his friends named Perliza went to 50,000 and established the first church. And yeah, it got griefed on the first day. They knew they needed to go farther, so they traveled over 100,000 blocks to establish the OG church. That is the first picture I ever took of the OG church. It took me a long time to finally get into the church, as it is a very exclusive group, but that's definitely a story for another video. On my first day in the server, all I heard in chat was chatter about the church. Joining the church, can I join the church? I'm like, I wonder what this church thing is. But I'm not going to bore you with all the details. Let's just say I worked real hard, did a few special things, and I got into the church. Things were going well. I was at the church with an active group. I could build whatever I wanted. I had my own plot of land. At this time, the active members were me, ASapphire, Perliza, Car8 John, and Night Destroyer. For about 3 months, everything was pretty chill. I used the church to build stuff, get resources, and just to hang out while I did other things across the server. But by then, most of the members were inactive. ASAP was gone, Night was gone, Perliza hadn't been on in months, and it was really just down to me and Car. And speaking of Car John, there's a completely different part of the OG church that he left out. It's the docks. Car8 John made this epic dock. It was pretty impressive and big, and it still stands today. And yes, I've had the cords up for most of these pictures because it is public. Because of the influx of new players, the church, which was over 100,000 blocks out, was not considered safe anymore. And there were Josh imposters, people pretending to be Josh, but what really set off what happens next was when my base got griefed. Considering the fact that my base was within 40,000 blocks of the church, we went on lockdown mode. That's when Car led the greatest project that the church has ever done. Operation Dirt Blanket. Completely cover the church in a blanket of dirt and make it look like natural terrain and cover it with grass and trees. While hackers with ESP and chest tracers could easily find it, it was the best we could do to conceal it from wandering travelers, such as new players with no hacks. It took around 8 to 10 shulker boxes, completely filled with dirt, to complete it, and Car8 John working at least 4 to 5 hours every day for a week to finally complete the dirt blanket. It was about at this time that we decided to fake the church's death. We pretended to leak the coordinates and ASAP left or whatever, and most people bought it. We told some people that were close to us that it didn't actually fall and it wasn't dead because they were going to travel to it, but everyone thought it was dead for a time. But once the church drama died out, we revealed it wasn't dead. I don't remember the exact day or when it was, but me and ASAP went and recruited Doors to come to the church, and then I'd say about a few weeks later, Gloom for Hire to come to the church. Doors built a cool library, and Gloom for Hire helped clean up around the church, make new roads, and supply materials to people. But at this point, with the influx of new players, the church just wasn't safe anymore. So we started inviting select people to come tour the church before its eventual destruction. But the church would not be without a base. Car 8 John, during this whole time, was constructing a massive airplane called Lockheed, so that the people of the church could have a base to be at. But the day came when the church's courts finally went public. It was really just natural. We invited so many people that eventually everyone knew. So instead of letting other people slowly destroy the church, Gloom for Hire and Persila, with their army of withers and TNT, went to grief the church. All that is left now is some pretty epic ruins, and Car's docks, of course. The mountain that Car had built using tens of thousands of pieces of dirt is now reduced to Swiss cheese, but is still intact in some parts and looks pretty cool. Now I'm going to go in-game, just like on the rest stop video, and show you around the church, what things were, and different things that I've built and other people have built. Alright, so we're here on the server, at the OG church, the ruins of it. So we're going to start off here at Perlaza's tower. I call him Persila. No, big lag spike. There's some cool map art up here. It went pretty high before, and now it's completely burnt down to the ground. And over here was the storage room. We had lines, rows of chests up and down to hold tons of different materials. And then I think over here, yeah, this is Car 8 John's old house. It's obviously grief now. It was pretty cool. I had a chair here and a bed and everything, and a mailbox. Now over here, this is, you can probably tell what it is. It's the farm area. We had a cool farm for multiple different crops. It was automatic. We had a bunch of dispensers up there in a way to get up there from here around. So that was, I spend a lot of my time here farming stuff. And then we're gonna move on to, I think, oh, it's gone. There was a cool mushroom here. It was right here, yeah. Oh, this is cool, it's still intact. This is where I personally spent a lot of my time. It's sadly gone now, but there was a skeleton spawner right here. This was how we got all of our XP to make all of our enchantments and stuff. So now we're going, and I think back here, if it's here still, no, it's gone. There's an enchantment table here, an anvil that we used to enchant our stuff. Now we're going to go to the main church building. It's grief, but definitely recognizable. This is where the entrance hall was right here, and then the place. There's a bunch of seats here, and then the podium. And over here, I actually left this out, but I'll add it at the end. Is the museum. It went down and all the way up to the top, filled with artifacts that are still in ASAP Shulker. And then here, you know, the tower going all the way up. There's a tree at the middle. And there's, I think, yeah, that's right. There was a bunch of underground stuff underneath the church. Why am I moving so slow? Where is it? There. Where is it? Sorry, guys. There we go. The troll face. Now we're going to go to the back area. There's like a marketplace. I'm just going to free cam. So there was a marketplace right here. What the hell? Sorry. There was a marketplace right there, but it was never completely finished. This is Doors' library. It's a pretty long trip down, so I'm just going to free cam. So it was awesome, and there was a center here with tons of turtles. This was all built. You never actually got to fill it with bookcases, but it was a pretty cool area. Now moving on, we are going to go to my area where I did all my building. Alright, so we're here at my place. It actually didn't get griefed by like a wither or anything. Lightning actually struck it. And up here, where this was my storage area, I think there's actually still stuff in these chests. Yeah. Down here was my farming area, and one level above I had cool office buildings and like an armory right in here, but lightning hit it and it burnt to the ground. Now over here, this right here was my automatic farm thing. I had like a auto farm hack, and we had tons of bone meal, so I could make tons and tons of like potatoes and wheat and stuff. And then over here is my massive wheat farm. It's pretty big, but nothing compared to the one I built a while ago. So yeah, this is where we got most of our food from. Fully automatic, by the way. Well, not fully automatic. Auto harvests. And this is surprisingly ungriefed. The churches, I made a whole church nuclear program. So if we go down here, you can see it's a missile. My attempt at a missile. And then the hatch right here. And over here is also another one, smaller missile. And then this was a plane I tried to build. I think I did okay. Really small runway. So yeah, this was my area over here. Not sure what that was. So yeah, that's pretty much the tour of the church. I'm trying to be as accurate as I can. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. That was pretty much the entire history of the OG church. Definitely greatly simplified. At the end here, I'm going to put some pictures up of the museum, some items that were in the museum. This is part 1 of a series, so stay tuned for another video coming sometime in the future. See ya.
The veteran stalks his natural prey, the rusher. He must move in very quietly as to not scare his prey. Once committed, he does not hesitate.